YouTube, we are back with another video, man. Hey, this one super important, super critical for y'all to hear, whether you're a parent or an athlete, man. It's the things they don't tell you about college sports. Because when I was being recruited, when I was in high school, it's a lot of stuff I know then that right now that I know, stuff that I learned along the way in college. So yeah, man, hey, this is a super important one. If you know these things, you'll be able to navigate, manage a lot better than if you don't. So yeah, definitely listen up, definitely stay tuned, like, share, comment, subscribe, keep tapping into the channel. We gonna keep running it up, but yeah, let's just jump into these, man, because the more you know, the better you'll be. First thing on the list is college sports is a business. So when these coaches are recruiting y'all, right, they're gonna say a lot of things, they're gonna make it sound sweet, they're gonna make everything seem like it's one big happy family. When y'all get to school, understand that it is entirely business from there on out. Like, there is so much money on the line that coaches don't really have the time to be putting up with kind of a lot of bullshit from the players, right? Like, y'all gotta think, coaching is their livelihood. That's how they make money. That's how they put food on the table for their families. So as a player, right, if you don't recognize that and you think it's kumbaya, you're messing up, you're fucking up, that coach will cut you off quick. Like, he will cut bait from you as fast as possible, because you messing up directly affects his family eating. And I promise you 10 out of 10 times, the coaches are going to choose their family over you. Like, if I'm not helping the team win, if I'm not contributing in a positive manner, hey man, it could get real bad for you real quick, coach, quick toss you off to the side. The next thing they don't tell you is don't really expect to have the same social life that regular students have. I don't know if y'all have ever seen like your school's social life, party life on like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, but that life that you see is not the one you're living. 90% of the time, you are going to be in practice, you're going to be at workouts, meetings, study hall, training table. There's just a lot of places you're going to be that are gonna conflict with you being at, these social events. Not to mention that 10% of the time you're not doing something, you're gonna be too tired from all the shit you were doing to even partake in anything, right? Like, you're not gonna wanna be up and about, you're gonna wanna be in bed. And also, I'm not saying that there's no opportunity ever to go out to socialize. There's gonna be a ton of that. Just understand that it's not gonna be as much as like the campus recruiting director, whoever like makes it out to be. It's going to be few and far between. They're going to be there, but for the most part, just locking on your sport. The times you are free, manage your time well so you have that, and then spend it how you like. Obviously, don't wild out, but for the most part, yeah, you're not going to be living that life, but you will have your opportunities. The next thing they don't tell you about college sports is there is really no such thing as off days. So you might look at the schedule, right, and it's going to say, oh, you don't have practice or whatever that day. Just know there's like a 99% chance that your coach will put some type of meeting, some type of workout, some type of training table check in there just to keep tabs on you, right? Like, the big thing about college sports is they do not want to give you free time at all. It's kind of one of those things where people in the past have ruined it. Guys get free time, go off, do whatever, mess up, get in trouble. So yeah, coaches, they're not really trying to go for that. So they will try and structure every part of your day, even the days when it seems like they really can't structure it. They're gonna make it so yeah, you're gonna be somewhere where they can account for you, and then it's gonna annoy you, it's gonna blow you. Hey, just understand it is what it is, right? Just don't be surprised when it happens. Next up is voluntary equals mandatory. So whenever there's something that's voluntary, right, you gotta understand that coaches, even though you not showing up may not directly like cause you to bump down the depth chart, just know that in the coach's mind, their perception of you is 1000% changing. Like, you're going from someone who, maybe you were a hard worker or something like that. If you don't show up, now they're like, all right, this guy's not really that hard of a worker. And once coaches get that idea of you in their head, it's hard to shake that, right? Like, that's gonna kind of stick for the rest of your career. But the other thing that not showing up to voluntary activities does is it puts you in a position where now your teammates are doing extra stuff, getting better. You're still down here. They keep getting better. You're not getting better. And really, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, right? So by you not showing up, not only are you putting the perception in your coach's head that, you're lazy, but you're also just not developing your skills like your teammates are. And eventually, you're gonna find yourself falling behind everyone else. The next thing they don't tell you is that them early morning workouts are no joke, not to be played with. Pretty much every single school in the country conducts some type of workout early in the morning. just understand that those workouts are a pain in the ass to get to. And if you spent the whole night before kind of, fucking off, it's gonna be difficult to wake up. You're not gonna have a lot of energy. You run the risk of potentially missing the workout, sleeping in, being late to it because you don't have, a good routine. So the night before, develop a routine that allows you to get enough rest to wake up, be able to excel at the workouts, not just show up, right? You want to excel. But then also understand that it's not high school, right? You don't have your parents living with you, holding your hand. You got to kind of be accountable for yourself here. So whether it's setting a bunch of alarms, making sure your roommates knock on your door to wake you up, just have something in place to make sure you show up, because you start missing workouts, you start showing up late, like I've been saying all along, that perception of you is going to change. Once that perception of you changes, it's damn near impossible to shake. Like if everyone thinks you're lazy and unaccountable, hey, you're going to be lazy and unaccountable damn near your whole career. So yeah, just develop a routine, figure out what works for you, and make sure you can kill them workouts. The sixth thing they don't tell you about college sports is that your friends will 100% come and go. So the beginning of my career was actually before the start of the transfer portal, but guys were still transferring in and out all the time. So just know that in this transfer portal era, your teammates, your friends, there's a good chance they're coming and going every single year, right? And you have to, I'm not saying don't create bonds, don't make friendships. I still got friendships that made it back in my freshman year of college, still carry them over to this day. Was actually with some of those guys this past weekend. But understand that you can't allow someone else making a decision that's best for them, making a business decision. You can't allow that to really affect you and cause you to overreact, right? So maybe the school that you and your friend are at, it's a great fit for you, not the greatest for them. Just because they transfer out doesn't mean, you gotta kind of overreact and transfer out too. Just understand that, hey, it's a business for everyone across the board. So some things are going to be better for some people than others. If the school you're at is working for you, hey, stay there. You'll develop new friends. You'll be able to stay in contact with them in this day and age. But yeah, just it's part of the game. And on a similar note, the next thing they don't tell you is that coaches will come and go. So I'm gonna keep it a buck. The phrase "don't commit to a coach" has been a phrase for decades probably, but I mean, in this day and age too, you gotta understand that coaches, they're trying to move up the ladder, right? So I know I talked about it before, and how everything's a business and how coaches are trying to put food on the table for their families. If you're not at one of the biggest schools like Bama, Michigan, Georgia, Ohio State, just know that your coaches are trying to move up the ladder, right? And even coaches at those schools, right? If you're an OC at Michigan, you're trying to become a head coach somewhere. So there's going to be a point in time where in your career, you have a coach, he decides to move on, take an opportunity that's better for him, and you have to then kind of weigh things out. Like, is me staying at this school the best? Is trying to follow him the best? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you could be a guy at, let's say, an FCS school, and then your coach gets hired by, a Big Ten school. There's a chance that now he has just a bigger pool of players to pick from to try and recruit. You might not be in that pool of players. So, just jumping the gun, transferring out just because your coach leaves isn't always the best. Sometimes the new coaching staff ends up being better for you than you thought it would be. So just give it a chance, right? Don't think that, I'm only going to college to play for this one coach. Everything else doesn't matter. That's why make sure you enjoy the school, making sure you enjoy the team culture, the facilities. That's all important too, because the coaches, they're very fluid. Things change like that. So you got to understand that don't go to college for a coach, go for everything else. Obviously, you want to commit to a coach that you're comfortable with, but understand that if he were to leave, you got to make sure everything else that's in place works for you. The next thing they don't tell you about college sports is that you will not be able to take any major you want. So I know a lot of schools tout their academics when they're recruiting you and all that. Just know that there are a lot of majors that only offer classes at certain times. And if those times coincide with when your practices are, meetings are, workouts are, just know that there's a 99% chance your coaches won't let you take those classes. And if you do decide to take those classes, I mean, you're essentially going to be off the team, right? So there's very limited, you have very limited time as a college athlete, right? You have practice at a certain time, meetings at a certain time, workouts at a certain time. Everything is structured around that, right? So I know everyone talks about school first, school this, school that. Your coaches, ultimately, they get paid by how the team performs on the field, right? So if something is causing you to not be able to perform on the field as well, and in this case, it's missing sport obligations or athletic obligations because of class, just know that coaches, they're not going to go for that. So on your recruiting visits, a big thing you're going to want to ask is, if you have a specific major you want to take, ask when those classes are, ask how they coincide with football, because you might find out that, oh, these classes are only offered in the afternoon. We practice in the afternoon. I'm not going to be able to take them. I'm not going to be able to take the major I want. And then, you have a college degree, but it might be in something like kind of worthless or something that you don't really enjoy as much that you're not going to want to use in the future, and it's going to make the degree not as worthwhile as if you go to a school where you could take the major, right? Like I know at Michigan personally, I know certain engineering classes were only offered in the afternoon, like from 3 o'clock to like 5 o'clock or something like that, and we practiced from like 2 to 6. So if you wanted to be an engineer, you would have literally been missing all of practice, and I mean, that obviously wasn't going to happen, so you'd have to pick a different major. So understand that everything's not going to fly at every school, or every major is not going to fly at every school. Ask that question before you get in there, because the last thing you want to do is either have to take a major you don't want to take, or transfer because you found out I can't do this. I think we're gonna cut it there. This is gonna be part one, right? It's gonna be multiple parts. I actually got a lot more in a list written down. For time's sake, we're just not gonna get to them all right now in this video, but y'all run it up. We're gonna drop that video as soon as possible. Let me know down in the comments what other things I missed, or how you feel about the things that I just said in this video. Yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, keep running it up. Hey man, go up by the end of the year. Like, we gonna set a high goal. Goal is 100K subs. I think I'm gonna get there. Let me know if you think I'm gonna get there. Obviously, help out, show love. But yeah, hope everything I said was worthwhile. Hope you guys took something away from it. A lot more free game gonna be in this channel. So yeah, man, keep tuning in, keep tapping in. Catch y'all next time.